When we look at the steadily declining mental health in college students from a macro-sociological perspective, it's imperative to consider all systemic inhibitors. When you dig past the technological and mass communication aspects to social media, you'll find there are larger, overarching schools of thought regarding moralistic trends across humanity that shape the identities of our generations. With the extremely high correlation between social media use and individuals plagued with mental health issues, it is worth discussing some of these shifts and analyzing how they may factor in today's stigma around mental health, as well as its catalytic role in some of the more alarming statistics on college student mental health discussed previously in this video series. Going way back to early biblical depictions of humanity, there was a popular worldview of moral realism which placed great emphasis on sin and human weakness. Heroes were deeply flawed and often meek in stature. This continued and took hold of Christian thinkers like Augustine, who rejected worldly success and practiced reticence to an extreme degree. It later would find a voice in humanists like George Eliot and Samuel Johnson, who believed the path to virtue is winding and extensive, that the world is more complex than reason, and that individuals must give themselves to institution. The 1700s paved the way for moral romanticism and the belief of inner goodness. This worldview placed trust in the individual and combated moral realism for majority hold in society. It was sometime in the 1940s when moral realism was practically abandoned altogether. The greatest generation, around the world, had seen the likes of both the Depression and World War II. Society was ready to indulge, and we slowly started to become bent on consumption-based lifestyles, abandoning concepts of self-restraint and reticence. Humanistic psychology furthered this, with emphasis on self-love and man's rationality. This paved the way for society's shift toward the big me, which revered self-expression and the romantic concept that there is a genuine, golden core to our being that is to be trusted as our inner ones. At this point, you're probably thinking, what does moral realism have to do with mental illness? I suggest rather that the shift towards the big me, combined with the bells and whistles of the 21st century technology boom, was the perfect recipe for social media. Social networking sites are online spaces that host individuals faced with the opportunity to selectively depict their own identities. This careful performance within online spaces melts the boundaries between an individual's identity and digital persona. Furthermore, these coalescing identities of college students become increasingly entangled because of their frequent engagement, thus making the individual susceptible to the unhelpful ways of thinking discussed in the previous video, and possibly compounding a negative mental health state. From these videos, I hope you walk away with an enhanced literacy in mental health, as well as a desire to dig deeper into the issue. These videos are brief overviews of research supplemented with my own commentary. Make sure you check out the channel for more informational videos in the future.